You can hear me? Oh, we can't hear you.
Oh, shit.
Dude, you're about to get kicked off the show.
Nah, he can't hear us. Look, technical difficulty. This is the second week in a row. Just 2 weeks running.
Oh, who's our sponsor this week?
Oh, you got?
This episode was brought to you by Match.com.
You did. This episode was sponsored by Andrew Tate. Oh man, yup, cancel. Welcome everybody. This is the Comments Podcast, episode 4. We back at it. This time we've got a guest. I'm gonna let my guest go ahead and introduce himself. What's going on, bro? How you doing? What's going on, bro? Talk to the people. What's your name, man?
What's up, listeners? My name is Justin Valentine. You already know the gang. _Justin V. I said that wrong. It was _Justin V on Instagram. Hit me up. You already know your boy. Gang.
All right, man. Let's go. Hey, before we get started, I got a question for both of y'all. All right?
Hold on. Wait. Before you do that, for the viewers at home who listened to the last episode, this is the other friend that was supposed to be part of that 24-hour New Year's Eve trip. This is that same Justin. Just to give y'all.
We need to have a tribunal hold y'all on trial for skipping out on that trip. That's what we need to do.
Episode 5.
Judge, jury, executioner, y'all. Y'all fake.
I would like to request a jury of my peers.
I can't help but feel like this is leveraged against me. But go ahead.
All right. Yeah, before we get started, I got a question for both of y'all. All right. So, if you were blind, how I can't do this. Everyone started laughing. All right, here you go. Y'all ready? If you were blind, how would you let somebody know that you're hungry?
Is this like a trick question? Is this a one answer that you're looking for, or like we answering this how we would just let somebody know?
I will hope I'm not deaf or mute, right? I can speak, right?
Bro, that's how it's supposed to be, bro. I swear I've asked like 5 people that question. Everybody be like, I do some type of hand signal. That junk is hilarious. I promise you. Ask somebody this week, bro. Be like, if you were blind, how would you tell somebody that you were hungry? How'd you let somebody know you're hungry? They gonna start doing all types of signals, bro. That junk is hilarious.
That's actually funny because the first thought that crossed my mind is like, I slick could walk to the kitchen though, couldn't I? Like, that's what I was thinking. It's not even like, oh, I'm gonna rub my stomach. It's like, can't I just like go get my food? But no, I get it.
I'm dead. That man say he gonna make his own meal blind. All right, hey, ball out.
A little sandwich, you know. You feel me? I know where the bread at. Know where the ham and the turkey at. Bun patty shoe. Come on now, SpongeBob told you how to make a Krabby. SpongeBob told you how to make a Krabby Patty.
Yeah. All right, what we got going on today, guys? What's up? What's on the agenda?
Justin, I know you had a question for us as in like the friends, not necessarily the Comments Podcast, but we definitely wanted to bring you on and discuss it here. If you remember the question, go ahead and ask it.
All right, I really got 2 off the top, but I'm gonna touch on the first one. I know that was burning my mind. How we really feel about this Kanye situation, Jonesy? I know you like live to die, like you ride for Kanye. That's your boy. But like, I don't know. I listened to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and then what else? Yeezus. I listened to all of those this past weekend when I was cleaning my house, bro. Banged them, all of them, bro. Love those albums. But like, I couldn't help but feel a little bit bad. Like, I'm still supporting this man for, saying things that obviously he probably could have reneged on. He probably could have apologized on, a couple things that were a little out of pocket, but, I don't know. Where do we draw the line of forgiveness in terms of artists? And when do we stop listening to the music based off of what they say or what they do?
All right, let me go ahead. 2 things. One, Kanye is my boy, but I'm not I'm not gonna get on Twitter and defend him. Like I just don't care that much, but I'm definitely 100% rooting for him. Like I'm rooting for that man. Like he's not canceled in my eyes. But my question for you though is, do you still listen to Young Thug?
I listen to Young Thug and Michael Jackson, as a matter of fact.
Well, Michael Jackson was at least found innocent.
No, bro, no. Why you Michael Jackson? Nobody ain't said nothing about Michael Jackson. That man said, you know what?
Caught it straight.
I'm just saying, right? Nah, no cat caught it straight. But yeah, for real, I do listen to Thug. I mean, yeah, you're right. Obviously, he's on trial for murder and a couple other allegations and things like that. So I know it can get tedious, but it's Thug, fucking Thug.
Josh, how you feeling about it? And
no. I'm about to ask why'd you ask that question though? Like, what is it? Like, is there a correlation between Thug and Kanye? Like,
okay, so if Thug's found guilty, right? Allegedly, they killed like 60-some people or 50-some people, or however many people. That has to be worse than anything Kanye said. So it's like, if you're gonna listen to anybody that's killed somebody, why would we then cancel Kanye for something he said? Okay.
Let me get my answer first, and then I got a question. So I feel like, and if I'm understanding this correctly, the question is basically, is it all right to still listen to artists after they've been canceled, quote unquote? All right. After they've been canceled. All right, cool. I feel like there's definitely a line that you have to be careful with, because like we talked about, I think 2 episodes ago on the podcast, R. Kelly dropped the album, and it's like, if you listen to R. Kelly's new music, I don't know if I can support that. You know what I'm saying? But if you like a diehard fan of R. Kelly, you always listen to his music, you grew up listening to it, not necessarily saying I could support it, but I could understand if you like, I just can't let that go. You know what I'm saying? But like, I think I don't know if I'll put Kanye in that same category of like, Kanye definitely has some bangers, right? Where like, I would personally still listen to his old music for sure. I can't even count. But like, since Kanye's been like the last couple of years, he's been kind of going. And personally, I don't really like his music anyway, so I feel like that's a little bit of a cop out on my part, where like, I just ain't really messed with his music like that the last couple of years. But like, walking that line of, can you still listen to a canceled artist, is very weird. So I don't know. But I was gonna say, like, if like, okay, so my question is, what is Kanye officially canceled for? Like, if we're saying he can't listen, is it because of what he said about certain ethnicities, about the Jews, or is it about like other stuff that he's done? Because I mean, like, if we go compare it to Thug, right? Like, what has Thug done? How do we know that what Thug has done is comparatively worse than what Kanye did? Is it because Kanye's is still like hypothetical? Like, I don't know.
So I think Kanye has, people have been trying to cancel Kanye ever since the slavery was a choice thing. In my eyes, it's like, all right, do you agree that slavery was a choice? No. Okay, I'm still about to bump this. Can't tell me nothing. Like, who cares that much? Like, all right, he's just wrong. All right. Then you have maybe the anti-Semitism stuff, maybe. But I think the main thing that people were trying to cancel him about was that White Lives Matter thing. Like, that was like, all right, that's it for Kanye. He's canceled. I think that's it, the drawing line. So that's what we have up against 55, 57, 67 alleged bodies.
Yeah, I agree. That's basically you saying like an idea or an ideal, like something that somebody believes versus a body count, like a legit body count. So you saying if somebody says you can't listen to Kanye no more because he said X, Y, and Z, all right, cool. He said X, Y, and Z, but you got such and such and such artists who have X number of bodies and we still rock with them? Like, where's that's basically the argument that you make, right, Jonesy?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. And I can see why you say that. I can definitely see why you say that. But like, when you compare mindsets, and I agree, it's like aggregated over a period of time. Kanye said a lot of bad things. Like if you start with the slavery shit, and obviously aggregated over a period of time. If Young Thug's killed 56, 57 people, then we also have an issue, But gang-related violence, I think, is different from what your opinions are when you have a platform, if that makes sense.
No,
Because
no way. I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish. But go ahead, bro.
There's a difference. There's at least a difference. There's a difference in it. No.
If you say that rap, I don't even know if this is a good witch mouth. You said that rap was built on the like that's basically everybody who's in rap. That's like gangster rap was a thing, was an own genre. That's what people did. That's who people were, and that's how they made it out of that life. Even though not necessarily.
Yeah.
I see what you're. Is that what you're trying to say? Because I can't say I understand what you're saying.
To a degree,
but...
yes. Now, mind you, he should have gotten out after he had made it, and obviously he did not. But at the same time, allegedly. But I think if you're using your platform to spread, I won't say misinformation, because obviously his information was somewhat valid. But if you're using it to radicalize people, as he does, I don't think that it can be good, or I think it's worse.
I was gonna say, but I think the same argument could be made for like the rap is literally you try to fuck with me, I'll shoot you. Like that is
pretty radical.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how is that not radicalizing? And then if you really want to take a look at it, and I'm not saying that there is a correlation, but if you really want to take a look at the gun violence rates that have like increased over the years compared to rap and like the correlation, like this is something that essentially perpetuates that whole lifestyle, that whole ideology, that way of living, that way of being to people that don't have to be in that circumstance. Because like there is I think there is a difference between people talking about their experience through art, which is in the form of rap in this case, right? People talking about their experience in the form of art versus what you're saying, which is you are using your platform to spread this message to other people that don't have to be subjected to it, right? Like if we're saying,
not what sells? Is that not what sells though?
But that can't be worse.
21 Savage is rapping about doing this shit all the time, and he's no longer in the game, right? But he knows that's what his audience is. He knows that's what sells, and he's obviously still not doing that shit. I think if it sells and it works that way, and that's your audience, then it makes sense.
So we give a pass to it because it sells. That can't be right. That can't be, because I promise you, bro, come on now. Kanye, if he really wanted to, he can get over there with Trump, and I'm sure they can start some merch, and they'll find some people that'll buy their stuff. You know what I'm saying? So if we saying that, if it sells, it's different, that can't be it. That can't be it.
I think my stance on it anyways is like, I can't really point to any like one thing that I just disagree with Kanye on that he got canceled for anyways. Like, slavery was a choice. Maybe he didn't say it the right way. Like I get what he was trying to say. But the thing with him is what was spread about him was a bunch of sound bites. Like I listened to his Joe Rogan interview and I listened to his interview with Nick Cannon. It was spitting facts in both of them. So it's like, and then as compared to music, like I'll kill you music. His message was uplifting. Like he was trying to put Black people in a better position. So it's like it's really disrespectful. Disrespectful is not the best word to Kanye to put him in the same category as people who are as killing folks. But like I don't know. People didn't really like Kanye. They didn't like what he said. I don't know how people were that mad at him, especially with him being the with him producing and making My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I feel like you should get a lot of passes if you gave us that album. So I don't know how he ended up in that category to where we're canceling him after that. But I don't know, man. I don't really like his new music that much, but if he was still dropping music like he was, though, I would be banging his music. Like he was in my top 5 in Spotify, but he would probably be around number 1 if he was still making that music.
Yeah, I can't even cap. I listened to Donda hard when it came out. When Donda, CLB, and The Argument came out, which one's the better album? I can't even lie. I vouched for Donda because it was a great album. I enjoyed it personally. But yeah.
Hey, Josie, something you said, is there like if you contributed to the culture in some way, you feel like there should be a pass at a certain level?
Let's see. Do I truly believe that? No. It just depends on what you do. Like, again, like even if Thug was to get convicted, like he's gonna get a pass. Like people aren't gonna stop bumping Thug for that. So it's just it's weird how the line where people choose to draw lines. Yeah. So like R. Kelly, great line being drawn there, but like racketeering, but like not even just racketeering. Like if you're just dealing drugs, like that's a whole different instance than killing people. But the line's not gonna get drawn there. Somehow that's acceptable. Kanye is canceled. Like in his situation right here, yes, like his body of work should definitely give him a pass for anything he's said. But there's certain lines that can get drawn. Like I don't even if Thug was to like get convicted on it, I would still give him like I wouldn't look at anybody that listens to him still like I would listen to somebody who listens to R. Kelly. Okay. So I think to answer your question, at some point you do get a pass, but I think it's more so you don't think what they did is that bad, or that out of the norm. Because it was bad, but it really isn't out of the norm.
Okay. So have you guys both seen the allegations about Drake and the relationship to XXX murders or his murder down in Florida?
Oh no, what's going on with that?
So allegedly there's something going around that Drake ordered out the hit on XXXTentacion when he was down in whatever, driving in his car. And now Drake is supposedly about to be under investigation for it now. So yeah, it's about to come back. So
he did say he had mob ties.
Exactly. Yeah, no, literally I looked it up, and that's what they're saying right now is like he said something in mob ties. I'm gonna find it. But question, like he's about to be under like police investigation. Like what? How do people know that? Because police don't say like, oh, we about to investigate this person.
Investigate, yeah.
That's crazy. This is my first time hearing this.
Yeah, my best guess around it, because I didn't get a chance to do as much research on it, but like my best guess is that they're definitely gonna end up opening probably a federal investigation on them. They're gonna have to. I mean, if it was state by state lines, that's ordering a hit on somebody. Oh yeah, you're gonna get the book thrown at you. Got to.
That's interesting.
So does he get looped in with Young Thug and all of them? If it's true.
Yeah, I think he would get looped in with Young Thug. Drake definitely has a nice body of work. And I think again, like that's kind of the line of not out of the normal. Like it's bad, but it's not out of the normal.
You know what? I don't think that he gets looped in with Young Thug. I think he gets looped in with Kanye. I think because if this story comes out to be true, Drake would essentially have to answer for something that he did. Whereas I think I think the argument with Thug is that I think the argument with Thug is like, not only did he do these things, but he's also promoting this message within his art. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think like Drake's music does not talk about
outside of mob ties.
yeah, like with a few exceptions where, you know what I'm saying, bro, Drake, Aubrey Graham, the nigga from Degrassi, bro, like, come on, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody is seeing Drake and being like, oh yeah, bro, I'm gonna go out and, you know, no, bro, you're not looking at nobody like, all right, I'm finna body somebody because of something that Drake said. Like, even if, like, this is more of him being there for something that he did. So I don't know.
So tell me this: if they convict him and he drops and he has a unreleased tape called "I Admit It, I Did It," you don't think that's gonna go platinum?
Oh, that just definitely going platinum. Second day, bro.
That's going platinum.
That just going to the moon, bro.
I hear you on that though. That is out of his whatchamacallit. But I think that's in the. I don't think. But so, are you saying that he's gonna get canceled for it?
No, I don't think Drake's gonna get canceled for it. I think it's gonna get swept under the rug by OVO, personally. And I think Drake won't see a lick of any sort of backlash, any sort of cancellations, none of that for it.
Josh, what you think?
Do I think Drake would get canceled for it?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think a lot of these people would get canceled if they're in the peak. Like, I feel like Kanye's probably getting a lot of like heat because he's not in the peak of his career. If he was doing this junk, like, I mean, when that man went on national TV and said George Bush doesn't care about black people, you know what I'm saying? It was some blowback. Oh my gosh, that's wild. People still stream his music. You know what I'm saying? He still went stupid. So I don't think Drake would, like, yeah, they're like, people be on Twitter or on social media talking about it, but I don't know if he'll get canceled for real. He might have to go undercover for a couple months, you know what I'm saying, lay low for a little bit, but the next album he drops is still going to hit the same as the last one.
So what would it take? What would it take
for Drake?
No, in general. Let's say Drake, the Beyoncés, the Nicki Minaj.
It has to be a line that everybody finds like repulsive, like the same thing that R. Kelly did. That's literally probably like the only line that can be drawn, unless you murder a woman. If you murder a woman, then you might face that. You might get canceled for that.
As a man, any type of offense against a woman specifically is, you are pushing that line. Because remember when Jay-Z was over there with Solange in that elevator, folks were talking about that for a month or two.
That's right.
But that's only because he cheated. Like, he didn't even touch Solange. He just got beat up.
But that's what I'm saying. Any type of offense against a woman.
I see what you're saying.
Depending on the level of that offense, you playing with that line. So I agree with you in that you go out there, you murder a woman or something like that. Like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Social media not gonna forget that. They not. You even you even say anything? Oh, you messing with a murderer? You support? That's the first thing that's gonna come up. So I think there is, like, definitely you start getting up there when you start talking about offenses against a woman specifically. There's probably other stuff. Kids.
Yeah, R. Kelly.
Sure, kids. Yep.
It gotta be. I feel like it has to be murder though, and I feel like it now has to be murder. Chris Brown almost got canceled, but he didn't really get canceled for the stuff with Rihanna.
Chris Brown's been beating the shit out of hella women, apparently. Hella women, bro. This man has a rap case, dog.
Bro, why you saying
so he's a serial abuser,
bro. Like, on God, like, dog. I was going back, like, because Chris brought it to my attention. Like, he literally brought it to my attention. He was saying, like, Chris Brown apparently has not gotten clean since Rihanna. Like, this motherfucker's been going around doing all kinds of devious shit. Like,
no,
like,
I didn't know that.
Like, if you have time, look into his rap case. Chris Brown has been in some serious stuff since, like, when was that? 2010.
Bro, he's still been getting.
I didn't know that.
Yes, bro.
That's
devious
wild.
deeds, dog. Yeah, but still not canceled.
I'm thinking murder. Well, I haven't heard any of that stuff. I've only heard the Rihanna stuff, and people are always like, that was mutual. Like they was both beating on each other.
Yeah, but he still had to go on. He still had to do like an apology tour. He had to lay low for a good bit. Like, yeah, people was like, arguing both sides. You know what I'm saying? Because again, he was in the peak of his career, but even then, he still had to do some. So he still had to come back around for it.
Yeah.
But that's crazy if he's still out there. Like, if there's still cases against him. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah. Nah, but clearly if you are beloved enough as an artist, people find a way to sweep your past deeds underneath the rug. Clearly.
You're gonna have to justify it. Like there's some people music like you're just not gonna stop listening to. So if you listen to it, you always gonna have that debate of like, oh, I shouldn't be listening to it. So you're just gonna eventually go ahead and sweep that junk under the rug. Like, oh, it ain't even that bad because I'm not gonna stop listening to this music.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, what else we got?
I was about to say you had another topic though, didn't you?
I did. So I've been curious. When it comes to your relationships, and I try not to talk about relationships too much, but when it comes to your relationships, like like how do you obviously you have to come to a clear expectation with your significant other. But nowadays, especially with modern society and the way things are going and the shift in terms of like empowerment and different dynamics and relationships and the fact that someone might have to be taking on more of the burden, whatever, like we're shifting away from traditional relationships in general, right? So how does the expectation for a man, like how do we equate that to what a woman expects for us? Like, how do we get the same thing out of a relationship in terms of expectations? Because I was talking with a bunch of coworkers of mine and a bunch of grown men, grown 40-year-old men, 35. Like, seriously, it's insane. And I asked them, like, simple question, like, what are your expectations out of your wife? Like, what expectations do you have for her? And literally 4 out of their 5 answers were that she loved me. Like, to some degree, it was that she loved me unconditionally, or that she provides love to me and that we do this together and that I'm just happy, some shit like that. But obviously a woman's expectations for a man are going to be significantly more exponential. Like, it's not going to be that he loves me. It's going to be that he does this for me, that he's providing for me, that he's, making sure that everything is set here, that, the other. So how do we get the same thing out of the relationship in terms of expectations? Because at what point does it become imbalanced?
Hey, that was a good question.
Yeah, that was a great question. Well, you get no question. They stop talking. You still thinking. You like, hold on.
Bro, that shit's been bugging me for a long time, dude. It's been bugging the hell out of me. Because I had
that's a legit question. So let me make sure I understand first, right? Because one of the things that you said towards the end was when you were talking with these other men, you asked them about their expectations out of a relationship, was that, one of the answers or the primary answer was that this person loves, like your partner, your significant other, your wife loves you. Whereas a woman is going to want, like, she's going to have a list of things, right? Like, I want him to provide for me, protect me, give me this, give me that, security, stability, have plans, X, Y, and Z, be spontaneous, all of these things, right? So are you saying that there is an imbalance in that, and that the question is around how do we set expectations to have some level of equality or be kind of the same in the expectations out of the relationship? Is that the question?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think there's a couple of things to consider, right? Because one, I think that men and women, if we want to be politically correct, masculine and feminine people, energies, X, Y, and Z, have different expectations and different needs out of life. Like if you take any woman in general and any man in general, the quality of life that the woman expects to have is going to be probably significantly higher than the quality of life that the man is comfortable with, right? So I think that there is naturally a difference in expectations and needs. I also think that the way that genders communicate is drastically different. So when you ask a woman a question like that, she's automatically going to list out X, Y, da, 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 da. Whereas when you ask a man, he might just give you a simple answer or a straightforward answer. That doesn't mean that that's all it is at face value. There probably is things under that make that overarching theme or that overarching concept. But when you, like I said, when you ask them to explain it, like that's just what you're going to get out of them. So I think in general, I think that expectations are definitely different. I think there's a couple of things. One, having a woman love you is, like, as a man, is definitely one of the, or at least has been traditionally, and I think should be one of the greatest things to achieve in life, to love you unconditionally, because there comes with that like a plethora of things, right? Having that support, having somebody that's your peace, that's like incredible. Like that is undefeated. And just being able to have that like safe space as a man that you can go and you can rely on, that you can count on, somebody that knows you, that understands you. And again, like still the overarching theme of somebody that loves you. I think that is like incredible for a man. And that is one of the, because I was thinking like, okay, well, what would a woman provide, right? Because like, if you go down the list of what a woman wants to provide, protect, as a man, that's not really what you're not looking for your wife to provide for you. You're not looking to your wife to protect you. You know what I'm saying? That's not really, so there are different roles and ways. And so I think in my head, like when we talk about expectations in a relationship, right? Like you do want your partner, as a man, you do want your partner to love you. You want them to understand you, to know you, to protect you spiritually and emotionally, right? To be that safe space for you and that comfort for you. And I think that it is within the home that you look for, or within like the home, meaning like that relationship, the space that y'all build together, whatever the case is, that you look for those things out of a woman versus externally, right? Because when you talk about like a woman saying, I want somebody to provide, somebody to protect, somebody to take care of me, somebody to XYZ, like a lot of those things are external into us going out into the world together as a unit. And that's where kind of man has a lot of those expectations. So that's generally what I think. And I felt like I said a lot, but I don't know. Jonesy, what you think?
I think that it comes down to, obviously both people want their partner to make their life easier. And it just looks different for both. A lot of being what you talked about, like in general, we just want or need different things from the other people. I think for women, it's easier to create that list because easier does look like providing, protecting. Um, Simple. It's been like that for centuries. I think for men, it has been more intangible because like you can say cook, clean, whatever, but that might not be exactly what you're looking for. Um, and there's also something that a maid could do. So there's something intangible there that when your partner does it, it makes it easier for you. Because you could also just buy food too. Like, all right, you don't want to cook, I don't want to cook, we can buy food. But the other thing though, in the absence of things like that, in what you have to then find a way to make your partner's life easier as well. And I'm not saying that's all, like that's the only things that'll make it easier. You just have to find what that is. Like a lot of men, it's easy for a lot of men to fall back on providing and protecting. And a lot of times it's valid. But once you eliminate like chores or tasks into making your life easier, what do you have to make a man's life easier? Like same way everybody finds it hard to buy their dad, their husband, their brother, or whatever, a gift. You never really know what it is that they want. So I don't know. It just comes back to that, and I guess why the 40-year-olds at your job said love, because like again, it's hard to identify that what it is, like what specific task it is, but it comes down to making your life easier. And when you love somebody, it's going to be easier for you to find ways to make their life easier. As far as tasks though, as far as tasks go, I don't know what to say. You know when somebody's making your life easier, but you don't know what to tell somebody at the time what it is to make your life easier, because often it can be changing.
Yeah, it is ever changing. You're absolutely right.
What you got, Justin?
So like you guys both bring up very good points, like in the fact that the love thing, and you're absolutely right. You get somebody that knows you, someone that's your person, someone who's almost, I guess, king to you. They know you. But at the same time, again, are they not getting that same thing? Are they not getting a person to lean on? Are they not getting a person to help them out in their daily tasks? So my point still prevails. Like, how is it equal? And obviously, I already know it's not. But like, how do we get it to a point where it can be? Or where it feels like it can be?
I don't necessarily think it should be equal. When I think about it anyways, I think about you have your life and you bring somebody into your life. So you bring somebody that fits into your life. So whether it's easier, it's more fun, it's relaxing, whatever that is, that's kind of on you to bring that person into your life. And I think you should. So in that sense, I don't think it should be equal, because I think providing and protecting is going to cost more than fun, play, relaxing, whatever. Just in general, because providing and protecting is going to take work while play is going to be play. So I don't think it's ever going to be equal, like 50-50, or like if you had like some kind of point system, the point systems are equal, or the output is equal, input, whatever you want to call it. But whatever you do or whoever you bring in, you should bring them into your life. So it's like, all right, without this person, like, because I was already going to do this stuff anyways. I was already going to be working. I was already going to be doing this. I was already going to have a house. It's okay for me to bring this in, because now I get an extra benefit to it, although I was already going to be doing these things.
I disagree a little bit. I think it's probably, especially in the earlier stages of relationships, dating, and like having that relationship experience as a whole, it is probably more equal in work than we might realize or account for. Because I think that while I agree, like Jonesy, what you were saying about having to go out to provide, to protect, to be able to build yourself, to be able to do those things, it's a significant amount of work. The things that I think men need or want out of a relationship are very tailored to the individual. They're different. So you're not necessarily like, while, as a man, like, you want, like, it doesn't matter who you with, your girl wants you to be able to take her out somewhere nice every once in a while. Your girl wants you to be able to, protect her when y'all in public. Like, those things, like, the girl might change, but that thing is still the same. And that's why I was saying earlier about like the things that you have to do as a man are more external to the world versus internal in the home. Like the things that a woman might need, the way that person is going to provide or like care for you depends on her ability to understand you and know who you are as an individual. And while like over time that might get a bit easier if that person gets experience or has seen things or like knows, like maybe they have, you know, brothers, maybe they take things from their father, X, Y, and Z. Like those things might become easier for them to understand, but it is still very tailored to that individual. So I think it's closer. I don't think it's necessarily equal, but I do think it might be a little closer than we account for, than we're thinking.
Okay.
I'm missing the equal. I'm missing where you disagree with me on though.
So if I understand what you were saying correctly, was that you don't think that it should be equal, right?
Right.
Okay. Did you say and I might have missed this? Did you say that it is or it's not equal? Like, do you believe it is or it's not equal today?
It depends on how you look at it.
Right.
But I think that it's going to look unequal because it takes more work to provide and to protect, as opposed to if you want somebody to, like, confide in.
Right. So, and what I'm saying is I think that the work that goes into building the understanding and because men are not easy to get, like women talk about this all the time, niggas talk about this all the time. It's not easy to get somebody to open up, a guy to just open up.
Yeah.
Like, so that's not an easy task. So the work that goes into understanding that man and understanding how to get to them to then be able to make that seem seamless or be seamless is like, that is the work that has to go into the relationship from a woman's perspective. And that's where I say, like, I think it's a little closer than we think. Because again, as a man, your work is all external. So like the stuff that you're doing to provide, the stuff that you're doing to protect, the stuff that you're doing to take care of whomever is external. So that work is going to be the same because like you said, you're bringing somebody into your life. So that work is going to be the same, even when you bring them into your life. For a woman, the work that they're going to do to understand a person or an individual is going to change depending on that individual. So I think that work is a little bit more equal. That's what I'm saying. That work is a little bit more closer to equal than you were saying, Jonesy.
Okay. Justin, where do you lie on it?
I still disagree because, like, Josh, do you genuinely feel like you can't fall in love with any woman? Because I might be conceited. I might be conceited for saying this, but like, I genuinely feel like, and perhaps I'm just more emotionally available than out of other men, but like, I genuinely feel like any woman that I wanted to invest my time in, and my heart in, I genuinely feel like I could probably fall in love with them. Like, if I wanted to, I probably could fall in love with them, and then I could have the life I wanted to have, or whatever the fuck the case may be. But like, they can get me to be emotionally available to them. We'd do the relationship thing. We'd do the full relationship thing, but at the same time, they're not putting in any more effort than the next girl across the street couldn't put in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah, you, bro, you absolutely right. Listen, hold on. Now, see, we finna get into a whole other topic, and we finna get canceled right here. This is it. Hey, we got 4 episodes in before we got canceled.
Hey, we had a good run.
Listen, you are absolutely right, bro. I think like a lot of women today are not like, bro. If you go, like, you look into women talk, X, Y, and Z. Women today, modern women, believe that they are the prize. That's it. You should be glad that you're with me. I don't have to do anything. I'm in a relationship with you. What do you mean? Like, so there is a lot of this ideology out there that a woman just needs to exist to be a blessing or to be impactful to men. And that is not the case at all, which is what I'm saying, is that there is a lot of work that needs to go into a relationship from a woman's side, but a lot of women today don't see that, right? Like, if we go back and see and talk about, like you'll talk to a lot of women, they say, I want a traditional man, somebody that, you know, protects me, opens the doors for me, you know, Bruh, you go back and talk to a traditional man say, hey, go make me a sandwich. Shorty's in the kitchen making a sandwich. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But you tell a modern woman to go do that, oh, how you you oppressing toxic masculinity, bruh, you done. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is there is a lot of work and that's not to say that, women haven't had some things rough and haven't had to go through some things. Like, that's not what I'm saying. What we're talking about here specifically, because we're gonna get canceled just like that. What we're talking about here specifically is the fact that a lot of modern women believe that they are the prize, and the fact that they are even entertaining a man should be sufficient enough for that man to want to be with them for, the rest of their life. So I agree, Justin. A lot of women don't put in that work. And I don't think they realize that there's work that they need to do. So
So do we stop there? As young men, then, as the ones who have the ability to pioneer change, do we change it?
Me personally, I don't think so. I don't like. I think it's like I don't know how to explain this, but I think it's similar to like what is it? Darwin's theory of evolution, where the people that get, the people that survive are the ones that, they have the genes, right? So it is to me, it's more about finding those people that have that understanding. And there are, in my experience, there are types of women that do have a better, like there are women that I just will not entertain. Like, I'll talk to a girl for 10 minutes, won't entertain her, don't care. Like, just, bruh, because I can just tell, you just don't have the understanding that I need you. It's just not, bruh, I don't care. I don't care. I'm not pressed at all. So, like, at a certain point, like, I don't think that it's on us to educate women on how women should be. The same way I don't agree with women trying to educate men on how men should be. I just don't think, like, we live two different lives. We can offer perspective, sure, but I don't think it is on us to say this is how you should be as a woman, X, Y, and Z. I think women should do their due because as a man, you go talk to your woman about, like, dang, I don't know how to make money. Like, you can't, if you try to talk to your woman about you not meeting any one of those standards that she has, she's gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not it's not a conversation. Like, she's gone. That's it. So she's not necessarily gonna sit there and entertain, oh, my man can't provide for me. I'm not really, like, now granted, there are some women out there that will go through some things for their man and will stand by their man and X, Y, and Z. But in general, right, especially when you are still trying to build that relationship, if you don't have those things figured out, it's not for you to take to your woman. The best thing that you can do if you are in that position is go find a mentor, find somebody that's been in that position, or find somebody that knows about the life that you have to live and try to learn from them versus trying to take that to your woman. Like, that's just not. And so I think that's the same thing exists on the other side. As a woman, it's like they shouldn't expect a man to, like, men should not be the ones to be like, oh, this is how, X, Y, and Z, this should be da, da, da. Because, like I said, there are women out there that have been with, men of a higher caliber or men of a higher standard, X, Y, and Z, and they learn really fast. You think, just putting this out there, but, like, if there is a woman that has a sugar daddy or somebody that is entertaining a man that's much older, you think that man's gonna deal with some bullshit? Like, no, he's gone, because he has the money, he has the status, he has everything that he'll just go pick up the next woman. So you have to learn very quickly, and the only way you do that is either by learning through experience and by observing and understanding, being curious, or by learning from somebody that's been there and has experienced that before you. So I don't think it's on us as guys to do that.
So how do we expect change? How do we expect things to get different? If we can't give our insight into how things make us feel and how it's affecting our lives and how we can't do this, that, the other, how can we expect change? Like, how can we expect
So I don't, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let, because Jonesy look like he been thinking for a minute. That nigga, he finna come out with a brain blast, dog. Look, so I don't think we can't offer insight. We can't. I think we should. I think we should offer insight. We should offer perspective. We should, but like I think that it's not necessarily on us to educate, like women. Like the first step is that women have to be, people in general, you have to be curious about your partner, about the opposite gender, about learning the types of people that are around you. Just have to be curious. And so the entire mindset that a lot of modern women today come into a relationship with of I am the prize, there's nothing I need to do, is the wrong mindset to begin with. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody is in there like, all right, cool, like yeah, we're both learning, we're both trying to figure this out, like, and they're very genuine about that. Like I do think that there is like there's an exchange to be had in that experience and in that learning process. But I don't, like, it's not, the onus isn't on us. Like that is something that the two parties have to come together to and have to be on the same page and have the same mindset about, like, at the beginning. Jonesy, what you got, man? Because you've been thinking for a second.
Nah, I'm just a little confused, to be honest. I'm not. There's something that I'm not grasping. Um, Let me see if I can put it into words. Because I hear what you're saying, Josh, on the you can't just think that you're the prize and that there's no work to be done, because there's always work to be done. Um, and then Justin, I hear you on the part where it's like, hold on, give me a second. What's confusing me is it seems like there is a lack of understanding of what. Okay, here it goes. So why are you looking to get into a relationship? At Justin or at Josh, either one. Justin, I'm gonna ask Justin first because he brought it up. You can hear me? Oh, we can't hear you.
Oh, shit.
Dude, you're about to get kicked off the show.
Nah, he can't hear us. Look, technical difficulties. This is the second week in a row. Just 2 weeks running.
Oh, who's our sponsor for this week?
Oh, you back?
This episode was brought to you by Match.com.
You did. This episode was sponsored by Andrew Tate. Oh man, yep, canceled. Yep, canceled.
Talking about
Just
Tate,
like that.
Kanye. Same episode is up for us.
Jonesy, go ahead and ask your question again.
Yeah. There we go. I'm trying to get a little bit of understanding. So, Justin, I had asked, what is it that you're looking for in a relationship?
What is it that I'm looking for in a relationship? That's a great question. I'm really just looking for, like most men, I'm just looking for peace, happiness, and someone that I know is going to support me, either in whatever goals I'm doing, shit around that nature, like goals, financially, however I need to be supported, support me in whatever I'm about to do. That's pretty much what I want in my partner. Very general shit.
Do you know what that looks like in action?
Do I
Or
know
do you
what it
only
looks like
know,
in action?
or do you only have a feeling of like what that would be like?
I feel like I only have a feeling. I know generally what it looks like, but not consistently. Like if someone was to do that for a long period of time, I feel like I would be uncomfortable because it's not something I'd be used to. So it would make me believe that something else might be underlying, if that makes sense.
Okay, and the reason why I ask, it seems like a general lack of knowing it seems like a general lack of knowing what we expect. So it's like confusion on our end leading to confusion on their end. So it's like, if we're just looking for a relationship, then the goal is to get into a relationship. And like, at that point, you need me to reach that goal, making me the prize. Um, is what I'm thinking. So it's like, but once you set an expectation internally, like, I need somebody for this, and I guess you can kind of clearly outline it, or it's like, I want a partner because I want a family. This is how we're going to raise our family. This is what we're going to try to accomplish as a family. Then it becomes a little bit more concrete. And it's like, oh, you can't fit the criteria because you're not going to help contribute to this in a meaningful way. So that's kind of what it seems like to me. Like, just in general, a relationship is just seen more of like a checkbox in the life category, as opposed to a tool in life to help you get to the next level, or like to beat the next level, or to like check off the next mission, complete the next mission. And I think that's where the problem stems from. We're coming into this, what, 2,000, 4,000, depending on what you believe, 4,000 years into existence. Everybody prior to us have had relationships. Just seems like another thing to check off. So it's like, what in our day is the goal of it, especially with equality in the workplace? Like, women can go get a job just as easy as a man can go get a job. So there isn't as much of a need in that sense, or like there's less of a need to be together. And so the want to need spectrum is starting to shift. So like, I don't need you. So now that you can be with somebody that you want more than somebody that you need. So like, you have to figure out why you want this person to begin with more now than you ever have.
And unfortunately that changes, right? So why get married becomes my next question. Because if your expectations and if the things that you want in life are going to be ever changing, and the person that you choose as to be your partner, if they, obviously you don't know if they're going to change with you, and you hope and pray that they're going to change with you and that they're going to want to choose to stay with you. But like, at the end of the day, a lot of the times your wants and needs change. Like, they're going to differentiate. She's not going to want the same thing you want anymore as you get older, so then you guys start looking at divorce and then other things along that, and then you have to worry about keeping the family together. And we've all seen it. So I don't know, that becomes my next question. Why get married, right?
All right, hold on. So let me Jones, let me put what you said in my own understanding, and let me know if you think I'm right.
All right. Josh, we lost you. Okay, you back. You said it was gonna happen, bro. It happened.
All right, man. Appreciate you for letting me know. All right, here goes. In my head, the ultimate symbol of success for a man is tied to some level of status. And I think traditionally status included having a good home, like what we call a good home, meaning you have a good woman by your side, somebody that you love, that you have that unconditional bond with. You have family, you have a home. Like, it's building a king's castle, essentially, if we're going back to like medieval times, right? Like, all of these things, you have an abundance of X, Y, and Z, but ultimately all of that led up to the idea or the concept of status. And when I think of that, I like what you were saying about, if you're just looking to get into a relationship, you're just looking to get into a relationship, versus if you're looking to build something for the future, you have an idea of what that looks like. And it becomes more of finding somebody that fits that idea and can help, build that concept, or not, versus, oh, we're just looking to get into a relationship. Is that am I kind of on the right path, or what do you think?
Yeah, that sounds like you're on the right path.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure I understand, because I agree. I 100%, because the main thing that you said there was that that men don't really know what we expect, and I agree with that as well, right? Because I think that there is a lot of, like, while, like I said, what I said is true, of like women are not necessarily curious, I do think that men don't have kind of this concept of what it is that they actually they're not able to articulate what that looks like in a lot of ways. And not just specifically in a relationship, but the idea or the vision that they have of the future. It is just it is centered on that woman, which is what you were saying, of like, if it's centered on the idea of a woman, then that woman then becomes the prize, versus she becomes part of this greater concept. Anyways, Justin, to your question about why then should we get married? I think it goes back to like finding somebody, who is in line with your values, in line with your beliefs, in line with what you want and need for the future. Because I think while there are aspects within that might change, I don't think, like, I mean, if you, right, like, let's just take, they've done studies on this, right? Like, you do studies on arranged marriages, right? Those people in the long run are happier than people that, are not in that get to choose who they, because the idea and the concept of like being in an arranged marriage, you have to get on the same lines of, okay, well, I'm here, so we just gonna make the best out of it. You get on the same page as your partner, right? Like, y'all end up on it because that's ultimately what's best for the relationship. Versus when you have the ultimate choice, you do have more freedom to be like, is this what I want? Well, shoot, this person got this, or this look a little better. Well, I might, like, you have a lot more flexibility to be like, to change some of that, to shift some of that over time, to see other things, X, Y, and Z. And then that calls into question, well, what was ultimately the original goal? Because if the original goal is to find somebody that is, like I said, aligned in what you believe and what you want for the future, then that should be what it is, right? Like, find somebody that wants the same things that you want, that values the same thing that you value, has the same beliefs, the same similar needs, and X, Y, and Z, and then you all build or define like the specifics of that together. But there is a certain foundation that's required to begin with, and I think that if you're looking for a long-term relationship or something of that nature, like, you have to start with that baseline of finding whatever that is. Like, and so part of that is defining it for yourself and then understanding how somebody else fits into that picture. That's my thought.
So what do you do when you have a partner? Because you said a lot of great points, but a lot of it I noticed kind of was geared towards the future. And unfortunately, nowadays we live with a lot of people who don't know what the future lies for them. A lot of them don't even know what they're going to do next week, next month, sometimes even tomorrow. So how do you navigate that when you're choosing your partner? Because if they can't even decide what they want, like, generally they know, sure, like I say, generally they know what they want for their future, right? But like, at the same time, again, it's going to change. It's liable to change what they want. And you can say, get something that a cornerstone for them, like something that's not going to change, like one of their underlying things that won't change for them. But who's to say that won't as well?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a risk. It is definitely a risk. But I don't, like, long term, I won't engage with somebody that, like, if I get the sense that this person isn't absolute, not necessarily absolute, but isn't like set in their resolve or what they want, what they know that they need, like, and it's not just about what the person is telling me, it's their actions, the behaviors, the things that you pick up on, like, while y'all are interacting. right? I just won't and get like it's gonna end at some point. Like I'm not going to commit to that because because I know that like the things that I want over time, like there's a certain vision and an idea plan that I have for the future. And if it's not somebody that like ultimately fits into that, or somebody that's not going to buy into that over time, like it's just not going to work out. And I know that. And I just have to accept that. Like that's what it is for me. So the challenge then becomes finding, like I said, if you have the idea or the vision of your future, is then finding somebody that has a similar idea or somebody that has those same beliefs, values, X, Y, and Z that also fits into that kind of structure. And that to me becomes a lot easier because, like I said, I can talk to somebody for 10 minutes and be like, oh, this isn't going to work. They're not necessarily that they won't get there or they won't change to become that, but they're not there now. And so that to me is just, it's out of the picture. It doesn't even make sense. That's just how it is in my head. Jonesy, what you think? Why should we get married? And how do you think about the future in the context of that?
Yeah, let's go. So 2 things. One,
that man sound like a rapper. Yeah.
Most important question. Do you want kids? If yes, you need to get married. The success rate for kids from single parent homes is ridiculously low compared to kids from 2-parent homes. If no, very good chance that you should not get married. Very good chance. Second thing is, if you do want to get married, you have to know what, like, why do you want to get married? Like, what does your look like? What do you want your life to look like married? And maybe it's easy for, I don't want to say easy. Maybe it's easy for me because like I'm a rom-com. I used to watch a lot of rom-coms. So like I would watch them be like, oh, this is trash. This is trash. Oh no, this was fun. Like a lot of them are cheesy, but a lot, like sometimes people do like some fun things like, oh no, that can be fun. Like, so you have to imagine what it would look like to be married. Like, what do you want to do? Like, how do you want to spend time with the person? How do you want to, raise a family? Like, what do you want your kids to accomplish? Do you want to go on vacations? Like, what do you want to feel while you're in this relationship? And so as the future goes, so that's kind of like, so that can be in the future, but we're in our 20s right now. How do you want your life to look in your 20s, right? Do you want to go to work and then come home, go to work, come home, go to work, come home, chill on the weekends? Like, is that what you see? Or do you see yourself going, or do you like museums and you want to go to a museum? Okay, do you want to go to the museums by yourself or do you want to have somebody accompany you? Oh, I want to have somebody accompany me. All right, what type of person am I going to enjoy this museum with? Or I know this person, maybe I will enjoy the museum with them. I do. Cool. Maybe we do something else that I enjoy or that she enjoys this time. I don't. Next person. So maybe that's where you're at this point in life, but that's not where you're going to want to be forever, or maybe it is. So at the next point in your life, what does your relationship with somebody else look like? Do you want to have multiple friends that, when you want to do something, you can just call somebody up? Maybe you call Jonesy up one day, maybe you call Josh up one day, maybe you call some girl that's your friend up the next day, like to do something. Maybe that's what you want. Or maybe you want something consistent, like, all right, I want to go to this and that and the other thing with the same person. Maybe that's 5 years from now. And then now it's time, like, and then you're thinking about getting married, like in your head, like you're just laying this out now, but you're thinking about getting married. Like, do I want to get married? If so, what does that look like? Are we going to go on vacations? Is she going to be a stay-at-home mom? How are our kids going to get raised? Do I feel like this person, or what does this person need to be in order to raise the kids the way that I think that they should be, in the way that I think they should be? But I just think you have to think about that thing and what you want compared to it, as opposed to, I'm 29, about to be 30 next year. Guess it's time for me to get married.
It's time to wrap it up.
Literally. Right? No, bro. Hey, look, you are absolutely right. And what's crazy is like when I used to, when I was in college, right? Like I talk to girls or whatever, and girls be like, "Oh, let's go do this, let's do that, and I'd be like, "No," because because this is an experience that I want to save or I want to have with somebody that I'm getting married to or somebody that I'm like seriously in a relationship. Like that was just part of how I viewed life, right? Like to me, yes, I want to have that experience, but it's not like I want to have people in my life that are that are special, and to me that are worth going out to spend that time. So it is, you absolutely right. Like, it's about, like, you have to think about, like, what do you want, and it comes back to, like, really understanding, like, what that is for your life, and having kind of that vision. To me, in my head, it comes back to having that vision, that plan, for what you want.
Yeah, and then like if you want to marry your friend, you have to have a friend. I'm not saying that's like the recipe for anything, because like I personally do not think that you have to like marry your best friend or anything like that. You can find somebody that works with, and y'all can get married, y'all can do whatever y'all do. But and then like it can grow to become that, but like you have to figure out what it is. You really just have to understand what it is that you want. And I think that's really what we're lacking, because I mean, again, for centuries people have been married, and it's been the scales have largely been on the necessity versus necessity has been more than want. And now if it's not more want than need, it's the closest it's ever been. So it's like, figure out what you want. Like what do you want, like what in general, what do you want your life to look like? And I don't think we do enough of that. Like,
No.
oh, I know I got to go to work on Tuesday, or I know I got to go to work on Wednesday. I got some vacation. Maybe I want to see my boys. Maybe I want to go to a party. Maybe I'll meet somebody there. Is that what you want, or what do you want? And I think a lot of us are trapped in that space where it's like you're hoping that this happens instead of figuring out what you want it to look like. Which is why you get on Twitter and see all these trash conversations, or hop on YouTube, pull up a podcast that's not like this. They don't have good conversations like this. They have more basic conversations, and you hear trash advice. That's why. Next though, we I don't know if I would call us gamers, but we've all played games. I know we used to run Fortnite a lot back when it first came out. Angry Bird. I know we used to run Fortnite a lot. Josh, me and you've had plenty Madden franchises that we played through. But I wanted to shift the conversation towards games, but I know you both have the Oculus, and I played it once or twice, but I'm kind of trying to get y'all's general feel. Like, are y'all sold on the Oculus, or is it could live with it, could live without it? Like, where does it rank on the level of importance when it comes to gaming?
Go ahead, Justin. What you got?
Yeah, go ahead, Justin.
So, I am not sold on Oculus. I am sold on VR in general. I don't think the Oculus supports enough different gaming, different kinds of games.
What do you mean?
Obviously, a lot of their games are more tailored, and obviously it deals with like the firmware and the actual hardware itself. But like the games that you can actually play, I believe are all tailored to like children and the youth. They're all very young, like childlike games, and that's cool. I mean, not like obviously they have Resident Evil 8 on there and some other shit. Like at the end of the day, it still feels like child's play, if you will. Especially to like a real gamer and shit. You know, like I like being fully immersed. Like when we went and did the VR experience at Andretti's or whatever the other week, that felt more immersive, even though things were very like, it was very streamlined, you know, you can only do certain things. Exactly, very arcadey, but it felt like more of an immersive experience. And then when we did the racing thing, even though that wasn't VR, like if they had gave me a headset and they were like gave me a controller and we raced with the VR, that would have been sick. That would have been insane. Like that's the kind of virtual reality I'm looking for in my gaming. Not necessarily the walk around with, I don't know, swords and do shit with kids. That's not fun to me.
Let me ask this before we go to Josh. So when you said that you talked about like the types of games that were made, and then you mentioned like the racing one and the shooting one that we did. I think we were killing like zombies or something like that. Yeah. Do you think that's like peak VR experience, or do you think that they should have GTA 6 in VR? or like Far Cry in VR, because I feel like that's what VR is lacking in general. Like there is no legit game that you're going to play in VR right now. So like real gamers are still going to be on PC, Xbox, PS4. There is no Madden on VR. I've seen the little VR football. Looks cool, but it's like right now it seems to me like the VR is a better way of playing mobile games.
That's very well said. That is very, very well said. I'm not gonna lie, part of it kind of feels like that as well. At least on the Oculus, I've seen people use other platforms that give them a lot more accessibility to a lot more games and gives them the availability to do whatever they want, like free motion games kind of as well. But like, I don't know, with the Oculus, it's you're limited to doing very few games, all games that seem very childish.
Josh, what you think?
I think Justin was pretty spot on, and I think that is highlighted by the fact that Meta released Oculus 3 recently, like in the last couple months, for $1,500, and it's shit.
I did see that.
It is shit. Like it is like they ripped it up in the reviews. Like it's just not. I think we're talking specifically about the Oculus. Meta has a lot to do in terms of deciding the direction that they want to take it, because a lot of like the challenge for Oculus 3 was that they couldn't decide if it was for work or for play, right? Like they had a work environment where you could set up monitors and work, but then they still had it's still supposed to be for gaming, but like you need different things, you need different components for that. And I think to Justin's point, right now with the Oculus 2, it is very much geared towards being social versus gaming versus having an immersive experience. It is very much like, oh, go out and meet people and talk to people and X, Y, and Z, which is cool if that's what you're looking for. And that like there are people out there that want to do that and enjoy that. And I've had a good time doing that if that's something that I want to do. But the majority of the time that I use it, like I am looking to be like, or I try to use it as a gaming experience versus a social experience. And so in that sense, it doesn't always add up, right? Like it's not always, it just doesn't do that, because we're like, you know what I'm saying? If like you think about games today, right? Like if you're going through a campaign or a story mode, is you and you are enjoying whatever it is that the creators of the game have made for that. That experience in Oculus isn't the same at all. It's just not, because that's not where, and again, this is probably an intentional strategy for Meta, for Oculus, because the idea is to get as many people on the Oculus as possible. So they're going in more of a social route in terms of, oh, let's make some games that you play together because that's going to make the experience more fun, more relatable, X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
I get that.
Friends gotta get
to
it.
me, that seems like an intentional decision. But like, I don't know. Like I think it depends on how you use it. I still find some games that are out there that are like very like the games that I enjoy on it are very like individual focused. It's like I don't really play with other people. I'm not trying to, and I like it because like it's a pretty cool game. Like that's what I like it. The majority of the games on there, like you said, are either like it seems like a better version of mobile, or they're very much focused around the social aspect.
I know that game where time doesn't move unless you move. Like that is a fine game. But I think Justin might have said it like once you beat it, it's not like anything that you'll play again.
Yep.
For real. One question that I have is that like, what would it take for VR for like you to buy GTA 6 on VR instead of PlayStation 5?
It would take them doing it correctly with other games. I need them because I've yet to see them take on any other than like Resident Evil and a couple other like easy like point and shoot kill kind of games. Like they've never tried to take on a super large platform, like something really, really big, something that's gonna like set them into the new wave of gaming. You know, I feel like they're not taking the steps necessary. Similar to what Josh said, they're not taking the steps to get them to market to gamers. They're trying to market to social people, like people who are trying to meet people, and that's not right now. Again, I think the 4 games that I play on my VR are like table tennis, the Beat Saber, and not even 4, 3 games, and the slow motion game. Like that's it. And I have no other reason to play my VR because everything else is just social.
Hey, hold on. I got a recommendation for you. It's this game called Swarm out there. It's like it is like Spider-Man meets like I don't know, Red Dead Redemption or something like that. Like it's kind of fun. Like it's kind of fun, and I like it. You can play it by yourself. You just go in there, you swing it around, shooting drones and stuff. It's pretty fun. I started playing that junk the other day. Yeah, that junk was pretty hard. There is a boxing game out there that's actually pretty good too. I'll be knocking folks out. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Working on that hook. Anyway,
real hands.
But yeah, no, I think like Justin is right. Like I said before, it is very much a social thing, right? Like when I think of VR, it's more of like, hey, I'm trying to like, what am I gonna do tonight? Bet me and my boys, we all got an Oculus. We're gonna go in there and we're gonna play poker for 2 hours, 3 hours. And you literally are sitting around the table, you play poker, y'all are talking. You're doing the same thing that you would do in person. It's just y'all are distant. Or like you can go in there and y'all can watch a fight, y'all can watch a game, y'all could do like it is very much a social platform right now. It is not, to me, it's not geared to gamers and it's not for gaming. And I don't know if they're gonna make that. I mean, because it's made by Meta, Facebook. This is a social company. This is not a gaming company. That would be a huge investment, which we have to say they have been making, or at least from the reports, they've been making a huge investment in VR, right? But the idea is like, is it going to pay off? Do they have that that industry knowledge of how to make this work, of what gamers want, of what gamers need, if that's the market that they're targeting? Like I said, right now it's more of a social thing. That's the route that they're taking. That's how I see it. And it works for that purpose. But the challenge is getting enough people to adopt it to make it work. And that is where that's where the challenge is right now.
I can't help but feel like they failed during the pandemic because they had such a great opportunity to leverage the Oculus to customers, into the general public. Like, oh man, you can't go see each other, meet on VR, meet on the virtual reality, but they didn't have anything set up for that. That is like, it was such a letdown. Because I would have bought that. That would have been a perfect time. Even if they like had the prices at like $250, I would have gone out of my way to get one, especially when they're dropping those checks too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think, Justin, we both got it after the pandemic, like after the lockdowns were up and everything. Yeah, that's true. That's a great point. Yeah.
Yep. What about streaming? Do either of you stream or do either of you watch streamers?
On Twitch, I do.
It is.
Justin, do you?
I do not.
Josh, who do you watch, or I guess what types of streamers do you watch?
Streamers that I watch, I tend to watch people that are doing things that I'm into, but are doing it at a higher, like it's like having access to celebrities. Like if you play football, you play any type of sport, or you dance, or you do any type of creative thing, it's like watching somebody that does that, but at a way better level. So like when I was playing Apex really heavily, I watched people that streamed Apex. Lately, I've been getting into chess and playing chess. I didn't even know that it was chess streamers on Twitch, right? It's like a whole, bro, like they was streaming a whole tournament, like 20K viewers today, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a whole like group of people out there for that. So I tend to stream people that are doing things that are like interesting to me at the time, but they're doing it at a much higher level, because like the stuff that you learn, just like one, it's like just being in awe of like, bro, how are you doing this? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
this is, bro, like, because again, it's something that you're interested in. You understand how difficult it is to gain mastery of it. And then the way that people are doing whatever it is that you watching is like, bro, this is real. Like, this is possible. You know what I'm saying? So like,
why are you so good at this?
See that? Yeah, like you get to see that is one, and then two, like you do also get to learn, especially if like as you watch it over time, like you understand like how they explain things, or like different people that might talk you through or do different type or post different type of content, stream different type of content. So yeah, that's what I watch it for. And it's like it's like very low cost way to be engaged, right? Like if I'm trying to eat something, I'm like, all right, what am I gonna watch? If I go on Netflix or I go on whatever streaming service, I got to go find a show or a movie, which is even worse. You know what I'm saying? Because that means I got to commit to a 2-hour movie. Me personally, I don't like starting something and not finishing it. So if I'm gonna start something,
Right.
I'm gonna try to finish it. So I'm gonna start a movie or start a new series or something like that, and then it's like, all right, now next time I want to watch something, all right, let me go watch this series that I started. Versus if I stream, I just go on Twitch. If that person's online, all right, bet I'm finna watch it. If they not online, I'm gonna just watch something else. That's it. Like it's low energy, low commitment. Like you just do it when you got nothing better to do, and you could just keep it pushing.
No, I feel that, because if you are trying to watch something while you eat, like you either already have to be watching something, but like the second best thing to do would be to watch like a sitcom or like something that's like 20 minutes. But at that point, you'll have to probably watch a show that you've already seen before, and at that point, you're scrolling through episodes like, nah, I don't want to watch this episode. I don't want to watch this episode. I kind of want to like it just becomes too much. And it's funny because like when I first like heard about streamers, I was like, why would anybody watch somebody stream video games? Just go play the video game yourself, right? But then the first thing I watched was RDC World play Detroit. And I thought that was really cool because in Detroit, you have all those different choices that you make. So one person's experience is going to be different than your experience, more than likely. So I was like, I want to see what they did. And like, so I watched it. I was like, oh no, I see why people watch people stream stuff. And then like from then, I watched them play The Walking Dead. Then I just like would watch the YouTube videos from like the previous night streams where they're like playing Fall Guys or Game Beasts. Like they're hilarious. So it's like I'm watching them play. I'm thinking about how it would be like how it used to be when we played Fortnite. We're just talking junk to each other, having fun. Like we want to win, but we don't really care if we win or not because like we're talking junk, just hanging out. So like I watch them because they're funny. And then it also gives you different games that you can play too. Like they have this game called Speed Runner out, and like all you do is like race on this little course or a couple different courses, and it looks fun. So it's also a pretty fun way of finding new games. Also figure out saw how fun Game Beasts could be because of them. It's like you just own their throwing hands arcade style. So it's like you don't like you kind of have to learn how to play, but it's pretty low cost investment on it. You just get on there and you throw hands with your friends, and you're gonna talk junk while you do that. But now I'll watch them. I don't stream though. Do either you stream?
No, we got to get our other friend out here that streams. Get him talking
Yeah.
about.
Oh, he does stream.
Yeah, he does.
He does stream. That's crazy. Do y'all play games enough to stream? Because I haven't really played in a minute.
No,
Nah, I don't.
not at all.
I don't. No. People that play games enough to stream, like I've listened to them talk. They're like, bro, I've been streaming for like 16 hours. Yes,
That's
bro.
insane.
12, 16, like, bro, it is longer than a full time. And then that's not, well, I mean, they, at that point, they got like editors. Like, and granted, you like have to build up to that, but like, even to play for like 4 hours, like, I get tired after like 4 hours of gaming. Like, if that's a long period to me. You know what I'm saying? So, like, even building up to that, like 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, that's a lot. You know what I'm saying? So, no, I definitely don't.
Nah, that's facts. Cause like the longest I would play is when we play like Fortnite or Madden. Usually games in Madden last about an hour. Usually you can get somebody on Fortnite for probably about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Like after the 5th game, it's like, all right, this is my last one, and it's like, yeah, this is my last one too. So now I feel that, and then one more, and then we're out of here. We're out of here. What games do you play now? Cause like I've been trying to decide on if I'm getting the PS5, but there's really nothing that I play. The most fun that I have playing games is like when I'm playing something with y'all, whether it's like Madden, Fortnite when it was Fortnite, Call Call of Duty way back when it was Call of Duty, but because I'm not just a serious gamer, I'm not gonna get any niche game. I didn't get like Elden Ring. Most niche game I got was No Man's Sky. Had a blast playing that game. Had a blast playing that game. But yeah, what do y'all play?
Right now, I actually just re-downloaded The Witcher 3. Love that game so much. Love that game.
Never heard of it. Is that what the Netflix show is based off of?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, an amazing game. It's kind of like Elden Ring to a degree, but much better in my opinion. It's also, I think, an RPG game. But yeah, it's free world, open world, amazing game. I just downloaded Apex again, so I'm about to see if I can get back into that.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. But you're absolutely right. It's been really, really hard to find a game that I can call home again. You know, everything feels like I'm just kind of bouncing around and just playing it just to waste time. You know.
What are they missing? I feel like it wasn't always. Are we just older now? Like, what are games missing? Because I used to love playing them. Like, I used to look forward to coming home from school. Like, I'm finna hop on this video game now.
I think part of it. Yeah, I don't know. I think part of it is definitely a mindset thing. Like you get to experience other things, like, and because like. I don't know, man. I think the more exposure you get and the more exposure that you allow yourself to have, like the more you're gonna have interest in other things, right? Because like I'll say like there was a period like in the last year or so where like gaming was what I did. Like I just was like I wanted to game. Like I was like, all right, bet I'm gonna run Apex. Like, but like that's because like that's what I was like. I was very much in that world, and like I was very like my friends were on it. Like that's what I saw when I went on YouTube, like on like even on Instagram. Like I would see that's what I saw, and so to me, like the pleasure of okay, I want to be good at this game was entertainment for me. Like that was enough. But like outside of that, like when I made a very conscious decision to all right, I want to move on from this, and I started putting myself like I don't have the desire to still be on. Like I'll wake up and be like, I guess I could do this. It might be all right for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And it's very much like I said, because I've allowed myself to be exposed to other things, like I just don't have that same desire, that same passion for it. So I don't know if necessarily games have changed over time, because like I have a brother, he's very much into gaming. He has a PS5, like he's into gaming, he's into coding. When he's in his room, that's what he does. Point blank period. You know, he don't really but he also doesn't expose himself that much to other things outside of that. So, you know, that's his life. And I think me personally, I think it is a lot of a mindset thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I was just about to say, I'm not even gonna act like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Like let's not act like that game hasn't popped off like the original Modern Warfare 2 did. Like with the whole voice chat, proximity chat thing.
Oh yeah.
That's so innovative. It made me want to buy the game. I'm not gonna lie. It made me want to. That was the first game in a while that made me want to go out and spend $60 for it.
Do they for that one? Do they have like team deathmatch like they did back on the old Modern Warfare 2? Oh, see, I didn't know that. I only thought that they had like Warzone and campaign. I hate Warzone. That junk is awful. To me, anyways. But so like you can hop back in High Rise and Terminal and all that, and
I'm not sure if they have. Yeah, I don't know if they have the same map, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they definitely you can do all the same matches, domination, team deathmatch. Yeah.
Nah, that's fine. Oh, I don't think they have like Terminal. That's crazy that they don't have Terminal and High Rise, because they have it on Warzone. Like you can drop into Terminal and you can drop into High Rise on Warzone. So it's crazy that they don't have it as a map. But now I understand that, because I guess they probably haven't changed too much. Just we've changed, which is why we're not playing them as much.
Yeah.
Fair.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else before we close it out?
No, I think it's time to wrap it up.
wrap it up then.
All right, man. Y'all, this has been episode 4 of the Comments Podcast. Like always, leave a like, leave a comment, rate and review the podcast in the App Store, and share it with anybody that'll listen. And we'll see y'all on episode 5. Peace.